Good afternoon, boys and girls. This is another basement time. It is Saturday and it's pissing down with rain, so I thought I'd come down in the basement and entertain you with some Benelli stories. So this is my Benelli M1 Super 90, and it's probably now, close to 30 years I've owned this model. And it is, well, you can see here the light. It's the field rendition, but there we go. It's the HK model that got imported in under license. But anyway, this has always been in its field rendition. So I've always had the 26-inch field barrel on this shotgun. So I thought, I wouldn't mind getting an 18.5-inch barrel, which is this one. So kind of a more defense barrel, like a home defense barrel, I guess you could call it. So I actually went out and purchased one of these. There's a hell of a wait. You've got to go on Benelli, go to their website, put your email in, and then wait for 6 months, depending on what comes up and where. But the problem I found is this. If you go from a standard field configuration of say a 21-inch barrel and up with with the top rib, you can't get it to fit on your M1 Super 90 if you transition over to an 18-inch barrel without an M2 Forend. Now there's my Benelli Forend. So the M2 Forend's got a slightly different cut to it. So I thought, I'll buy the Forend, I'll get a plastic stock, blah 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 blah. I'll turn it into like a silly looking tactical black plastic looking thing. So what I did was I went and ordered the buttstock. So that was going to replace my my beautiful satin wooden buttstock, and then I was going to simply buy the black plastic Forend for Benelli. So anyway, this thing arrived. It was, I don't know, $88, and I mean, it's all right. It's got no in the back end of this. If you take the butt pad off, it's only lightly screwed in. On the satin stock, there's a couple of different features you can do in there. One of them is you can have some adjustment plates which adjust the heel and toe of the buttstock there, which makes it a bit easier to fit and find your correct eye level along the top rib. This black plastic one, and it doesn't have Comfort Tech, doesn't actually have that option. There's nothing in the back that can adjust, so you're stuck with limitations on that. But the second thing is, I really like wooden buttstocks. I just do. There's something about them. So I thought I'd like to still get the 18.5-inch barrel, but I just don't want to have to spend the time and the extra money to spend $200 on getting an M2 Forend, which then might not match. You'd end up with something akin to that, or a wooden buttstock and a plastic front Forend. So I thought, well, what's the actual difference between the barrels? And here they are. That's all it is. So I'll show you what I did with a bit of customizing with a file. So if I line the two receiver points up, the only difference between these two barrels is this lug length. On the field barrels, 21-inch and up, the lug length is shorter than the 18-inch barrel. So all you have to do is measure even from here to the furthest point of your lug, and from here to the furthest point of your lug, and that corresponds with the slot in my lights. Sucks, I do apologize. That aligns with the slot here inside the Forend. So all you're going to do to get a M1, a real nice satin walnut stock to fit on your M1 Super 90 with the 18.5-inch barrel is actually, this is terrible, is take a little file in there, cut out 1/2 inch. There we go. Cut out 1/2 inch of wood right there to the furthest point. So you're looking to cut out the furthest point to that lug, and then your lug will actually fit in the slot, and then you should be able to put your M1 satin walnut wood with the 18.5-inch barrel. And it does look really nice when it's on there. The other thing you'll need to do is take a file and smooth out some of the transition edges in here to allow this. See, this is a ring around here that the field barrel doesn't have. So this ring is a fitting ring to stop it from going too far into the receiver. So this ring here will actually fit in your filed out edges. So take that measurement, which is about 202 millimeters, cut that section out, file off the inside in here, just very carefully, use a Dremel tool. That's all I did, nipped around with a Dremel tool. You can't actually see it when it's loaded. And then you'll actually have an M1 Super 90 stock that fits with the 18.5-inch barrel. So let me assemble that real quick and I'll show you right now. So there you can go. I've just assembled it real quickly. You can see what the shotgun looks like with the wooden stock. And I gotta say, beautiful. Makes it more beautiful, I think, than having the black, you know, plastic furniture, the non-adjustable, crappy ass black Benelli furniture there. There is something, you know, about nice wooden stocks, and the satin walnut finish on this shotgun was actually particularly nice when I purchased it nearly 30 years ago. So I thought if I could maintain the look of that wood, it harks back to kind of more of a vintage age in military shotguns, when you can show a nice piece of walnut furniture on here. And the other thing too is, you know, I have actually a Patchmere decelerator pad on this, which works out beautifully because I don't have Comfort Tech. So the Patchmere pad actually has, whether you can see on this light, yeah, see that hard insert right there. So you know, when you're shouldering the shotgun for sport, you know, you don't because it's quite a sticky rubber, you don't get the rubber hang up in your shoulder. You'll actually slide through that potential stick point with your no, can't see. There you go. There it is. You can see that hard rubber edge in there. So you actually slide through your shoulder point with that, and you won't get hung up. But so that's all you need to do to get your M1 Super 90 front end to fit with an 18.5-inch barrel, is just measure that lug distance and cut it out with a file or a Dremel tool. Okay folks, I've just put the field barrel back on. So the customizing you do, i.e. removing about ½ an inch of wood from your forend, doesn't affect the refitment of your longer barrel, whether it's the 21-inch and up field barrel. So whatever you do in here doesn't affect the refitment of the original barrel. There's going to be no slack in your forend. It's not going to rattle up and down. The other thing too is, with reworking on the inside here, you really can't, I've got no light anyway, but you really can't tell. My light sucks. You really can't tell of the filing work you've done on the inside of that forend to allow that rib to fit in there. So you can't even tell that's been altered either. So it fits really nicely. I got to say, there's something about the beauty of a walnut stock. And on these Benellis, you know, especially when I put the 18-inch barrel on, it kind of harks back to a vintage age of shotgunning, where there was a transition from, you know, sports pieces to more military, tactical shit you see these days, all these fucking M-lock pieces of crap on there. You know, they're just basically tools. And when you see something like this, you know, even a Beretta or a Browning or a Maruk, they are tools themselves, but there's such a nice difference there between just being a tool and something of beauty too. And I think maintaining a wooden stock on these Benellis gives it that sense of uniqueness, especially considering the the features and abilities that this action gives you in terms of firing. The other thing too is, Benelli's got a bad rap in the beginning for not being able to shoot 1 ounce loads because of the recoil system in here. It's not gas operated like most semi-auto shotguns. It's recoil operated with a compression spring behind the bolt receiver face here. So in the old days, folks say, I can't shoot 1 ounce dove loads, blah, blah, blah. To those folks, I'm sorry. You obviously haven't shot your shotgun enough like I have. Once you've shot a few hundred rounds through this action, it will cycle 1 ounce dove loads all fucking day long. So to you lot that didn't think it could cycle, all I'd say is this: shoot your fucking shotgun more, and then you'll be fine. I'm going to put the 8-inch barrel back on just to finish up and give you like an overview shot on my crappy ass carpet down here, and then we'll see you for another video. Stay tuned. Okay folks, there she is in all of her assembled glory. I do apologise for my carpet. As you can see, there's bare concrete underneath it, and the reason being is my basement floods, so I don't have any nice carpet down here, simply because I don't want to roll up, underlay and squeeze it all out and have the potential of going mouldy. So I just have a carpet I can roll up and get out of the way, just to keep a little bit of coolness off the floor. But there she is anyway. It's something you don't really see these days, is a nice wooden stock on a short barreled shotgun. So if you do want to invest that money and that time to buy the barrel, do the little conversion on the M1 Super 90 Forend, I think you're going to end up with a shotgun that is really truly unique. You just don't see the merge and the blend these days. Either shotguns are sporting or they're tactical, and this blends the two nicely. Just don't forget that the M1 Super 90 action was a military design, coupled with the traditional wooden stock. I think the merge is beautiful, and it's something definitely you don't see much of these days. If you're going to go and buy a shotgun for home defense for the first time around, I wouldn't recommend this route unless you've got a lot of money to burn and a lot of time on your hands to find them. I would go out and buy a Mossberg or an Ithaca or a Remington and make that my home defense gun. But if you want to do some tinkering, I definitely recommend it, and it's well worth the look and the functionality of this shotgun in a smaller package. And then if I do want to go and shoot some pheasant, I can always stick the 26-inch barrel on, put my hat on and wear my thorn-proof jacket and stick a pipe in my mouth. I can go ahead and shoot with the gentry. But I think this is pretty cool the way it is. Although I am against fitting things onto shotguns and all this other stuff that you attach to your rifles these days to make it more militaristic, I do have one attachment point on this, and it is you can see it there. It's just a piece of Picatinny rail that actually comes with this Nordic component barrel clamp, if you do so wish to purchase that. But again, I just love the clean looks of these shotguns the way they are. I don't like to hang a lot of unnecessary crap on any of my guns, and it just makes them, well, I don't know, I just don't like I'm more of a traditionalist. I just don't like the look. But anyway, that's what she looks like. Over and out for now, folks.